Today, we would take up a topic titled Types of Tasks. There are different types of tasks specified in our syllabus, such as assignment, performance task, and a project. I was quite confused while reading these topics initially, as there were some ambiguities while reading the meaning of different terms. Let us start with assignment. Assignment is a word derived from assign, is a verb. So assigning is a transitive verb. Therefore, there are two persons required in the process of assignment. One is the giver or the assigner, and another, the one who is assigned, that is the assignee. So it is a system that demands from both parties to oblige to the conditions of giving and taking. Therefore, in some courses, assignment is a course requirement that requires the teachers to assign some tasks upon the learners, and the learners have the duty to take up those tasks, complete them, and submit to them within the specified time and within the specified format. If one could not submit this task, either he should be asked to submit. If not, he would not be qualified in that area of learning. He would not be certified. Therefore, it is a course requirement. The confusion comes from here that assignment is a task assigned upon people. But we have the next subtopic, that is performance task. Assignment is a task, performance task is a task, project is a task. Then what do they differ from each other in? So my understanding is that assignment is a task given to the students, which is different from performance task that demands application of what is learned in the classroom to be performed by the person. He or she needs to demonstrate what was learned by or through some activities as specified by the teacher. For example, the teacher was teaching a drama, and the student is asked to take a role from that act. So this is the performance. Therefore, performance task is different from assignment task. Assignment task is usually written in mode, that is from either the course or the syllabus. It is a part of the textbook or the syllabus prescribed. This is given so that the students come with little understanding of some topics, and due to time constraints, the teacher may take up the following topics as the foundation of those topics are understood by the students through the assignment. We said it is a systematic approach, as some system is binding both the parties, such as the assigner and the assignee, or the teacher and taught. This requires the teacher to make assessment of what is being submitted as an assignment. This requires a teacher to justify the marks awarded, and that should be objective in such a way that even the others can justify the marks given is appropriate to what was submitted. So in the case of assignments, we can use one strategy, that is rubrics, or the guidelines for assessing the subjective type of assignment such as essays, critical writing, reports, drafting of letters, exercises from the books, answering descriptive type questions, thesis writing, etc. So assessment of assignment can be done using rubrics to reduce the subjectivity or bias of the teacher. While discussing the performance task, we said this is also a course requirement. Therefore, this needs to be approached systematically, in which a teacher should assign a performance task to the students based on what was learned in the classroom, and the students on a specified time and in a specified way should demonstrate what was learned through the activities specified by the teacher. The teacher may have restrictions, and some teachers may give less restrictions and more freedom to the students. Performance tasks are more suitable to subjects such as music, visual and performance arts, physical education, but also in science and mathematics too. It depends upon the teacher to assign the task. Some performance tasks could be acting, playing of musical instruments, singing, mimicking, dancing, aerobics, gymnastics, and so on. Performance task is similar to a project, but this is with a very limited scope. Project is complex, that has a set of tasks loaded with so many inputs and outputs from different resources. That is too systematic but more complex. And performance task is very direct, so to say, what was taught could be performed. For example, a science teacher may ask the students to demonstrate their knowledge on the parts of plants. The student may bring a plant and demonstrate her knowledge by showing the different parts of plants. A student may be asked to collect some objects, spherical in shape and of different sizes. The student may produce those and present to the class by describing their shape and sizes. As we said earlier, project is also a course requirement, but it is a much wider, it covers a much wider scope. Therefore, it takes longer period of time. There are so many tasks involved in a project, and the information is not available straightforward. One needs to collect the data, and after the data is analyzed, data is the raw information, or from data we get the information. On the face of data itself, one cannot get the information. So that requires the analytical process to understand the data and convert that into the form of information and facts. Therefore, project is a more systematic, more formal, and a more rigorous process that requires a lot of collections of data, organizing of data, analyzing of data, and also interpreting the data to understand the problems in real life contexts. A project is given to the students to discover something new or to improve something or to reach a new understanding or to apply the existing knowledge in a field which had never been done in the past in creative ways. So here, unlike the performance task and assignment, the teacher's role is only facilitating, and there is a greater freedom for the scholars or students to explore and do things in their own ways. Even choosing a project is done with greater freedom. Unlike performance task and assignment, these two are very specific. The teacher gives instructions to the students, and the students take up those instructions, and on the basis of the specific objectives, they either write or perform the task. A project may be either an individual one or group projects. Group projects, since involve many people, that requires collaboration, cooperation, communication, coordination, and problem solving together, analyzing, applying from multiple perspectives. A project involves several steps, and these steps are given by different people in different ways in different fields. In our case, we will consider 5 steps in a project, such as invitation, planning, executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. We will have some examples for the assignments usually given in the class to have better understanding. English teachers may assign some exercises to be completed by the students at home or in the class in order to reinforce the grammatical principles learned in the classroom. The student teachers of B.Ed may be asked to present the grading system practiced in schools at the secondary level classes in Nagaland. In school, mathematics teachers may give homeworks which are usually given as exercises in the textbook to apply what is learned in solving mathematical problems. The B.Ed student teachers may be asked to present a critical review of the constructivist practices in the classroom. Example for performance task may be taking the photographs using their mobile phones of some herbs around their household and asking the students to demonstrate their knowledge by listing or by showing the different parts of the plants, asking the students to bring a germinated seed, and so on. So, summarizing all these 3, we can say that assignment, performance task, and projects are the assessment techniques used by teachers. But assignment is very specific, and it takes a shorter period of time to be completed, and it is based entirely on the lesson start, or in some cases, according to the level of educational stages, a teacher may ask the students to go for self-learning of some topics given already to have better understanding of the forthcoming presentations in the classroom by the teacher. But performance task is also an assignment given to the students or a task given to the students that requires the students to perform or demonstrate something what was learned in the classroom. But these two are restricted to the freedom of the students, but the project is based on various subjects and courses learned in an educational program and apply those concepts, principles, and theories or their modifications in a particular area of study to produce something new, to explain something from different perspective, to discover new information, to add knowledge, or to solve problems by collecting, organizing the data, analyzing the data, and interpreting the data. This is a very simple delivery on these assessment tasks or types of tasks but one can go through some additional materials if required and present your topics accordingly.